Field in the blanks.
In the blanks.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Horn, 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 horn.
It's very self-explanatory, but we'll explain it anyway for the people in the back. We will just give you a sentence and you finish the statement. Are you ready, Field Yates?
I am ready.
Don't be surprised if
Josh Allen wins the NFL MVP this year, which I don't know how audacious that is, but it is my pick. It has been submitted on ESPN.com and actually posted, I think, a little earlier today. The Bills are an interesting case test right now. There are some people that are sort of like, maybe they're a house of cards after trading Stephon Diggs and losing Matt Milano, one of their best defensive players in the preseason. Like, is this team going backwards before we can take a big step forwards once again? I kind of feel like everything is on Josh Allen's shoulders, and I think that might be a good thing for his MVP case. Maybe I'm just buying too much into the Josh Allen hype, but I do believe that after Patrick Mahomes, if I were to make a roster from scratch today to compete for the next 5 or 10 year window, Josh Allen would be my number 2 pick. And I think at some point, Josh ends up winning an NFL MVP. And in some ways, not having that like sort of established wide receiver star around you can help your case, right? Because as you guys know, narratives often shape MVP cases or coach of the year cases. And the narrative right now going into the season might be that the Bills don't have as much around Josh Allen. And if they are going to be great, it's going to be because Josh Allen flexes his superpower muscle.
Okay, from a perspective MVP in the eyes of Field Yates, and they are wonderful eyes, to a guy who's won it a bunch of times, Patrick Mahomes and his team. The Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce breakup contract is
non-existent.
Yes, thank you.
I did see that floating around the internet, but that's fake news right there. Come on now, like
definitely.
Now I will be the first to admit, and I'm not trying to be like I'm the person that's above what everybody loves in like sort of day-to-day culture, but I didn't spend that much time deep diving it. But I just had that felt far-fetched to me. I am a Taylor Swift fan, but not like hardcore, like know every last song, like some are, which I mad respect for her, but like I'm not, I don't even know who my favorite
you're a grown man
is right now. No, it's okay. That's okay. I know that, some people have a deep affinity for them, but I from what I know about each of them, which is very little on a personal level, it certainly seems like that would be a stretch. I don't know. Did you guys buy it? Am I missing this one entirely?
It's completely fake. And honestly, listen, I know that this very time last year, I was the one going, it's a stunt. Once we establish that this is a real relationship, and it is, I am so weirded out by people trying to predict the ending of it. It's just weird to me. Like, leave these people alone. Yeah. They're happy. They're in love. They're touring the world together. They're doing, concerts together. They're hanging out at a Rhode Island mansion
the Rhode
together.
Island crib.
Yeah, like
that's the golden key.
Like it's like they're in love and they're happy and they're free and they're not bothering anybody. Sure. And I just don't understand why we're out here trying to predict when they're going to break up. It's weird. Mind your own business.
We get it. Me and Field are more Sabrina Carpenter people anyway, so we're not like
that is my girl. Short and sweet, baby. Let's go.
You know what I'm saying?
All right. She has the song Espresso, if I'm not mistaken.
That's the one. Field, that's the one.
That's that me espresso. You know what I mean?
You know the girls are bumping that at the crib.
So you can't sleep.
We got a lot of like Miss Rachel songs in our house these days, and the theme for Paw Patrol. So
yeah, her mouth, it's like a lot. It's like she comes in closer and closer, and it's just like, I love you.
Oh man.
Anyway, it's
this
weird.
is gonna change the way that I watch it. Yeah,
man. It's a lot of mouth play. It's just like a ton of mouth play. All right, blank will be the best rookie quarterback this season.
Oh.
Caleb Williams. And I know that's low-hanging fruit, right? Because I know he's the number 1 overall pick. But one thing that I was steady and consistent with in my stance over the past, I guess you call it about 12 months. But whenever you feel like we talk, I guess, because the beginning of last college football season is I felt like Caleb Williams was the best quarterback in the entire draft. And while Jaden Daniels made a push and obviously made this a fascinating draft this past April, in a lot of ways, because it reminded us that how we feel about a player going into his final college football season is very different in a lot of cases than how we feel about him coming out of his final college football season. I never felt like the gap narrowed to the point that it was a real debate between Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels about who would go number 1 overall. Caleb Williams Maybe it's because we are bored of a player who's been hyped as the number 1 pick in the 2024 NFL draft, presumably for like 2 seasons. But he's a really special football player who enters into a great situation. I know it's been said a million times. It would be the 1 million in first or 1 million in month. I don't know. 1 million in first.
That's the one.
Okay. Yeah, that one. Person to say it. That it's about as good of a situation as you could possibly imagine for a number 1 overall pick, right? Between the steady group of wide receivers, capable enough offensive line, just a roster in general that is not reflective of what most number 1 overall picks are joining. So Caleb's in for a major, major rookie season.
Well, he's got really big shoes to fill as well, because Rex Grossman.
Oh my God. Jesus.
He's the last quarterback to take him to the Super Bowl.
I think that defense took him, and Rex Grossman just got a ticket. he just got a seat on the bus.
There.
Field, I got one more for you. By the way, speaking of the Chicago Bears offense, yesterday I was in a fantasy draft, and DeAndre Swift was drafted like in the 70s. And I thought to myself, how do we let that fall all the way to the 70s? I wonder what Field Yates would think about that.
That's pretty low.
I want to know what you think.
How did he slide?
I don't know. I think people forgot like that it was a keeper league.
I thought it was T Swift, not D Swift, and they were like, "No, I'm sick of it."
Like, you can't play
5 times in 30-second promo. That's a little too much. Okay, Phil. Last one for me is Aaron Rodgers will have a blank season.
Good season, right? But man, I tell you what, like coming in, like yes, like right now we should be optimistic about the Jets, right? Because right now everything is, other than Hassan Reddick, who as of right now is not with the team, but like everything else is in place, like. The offensive line is still all healthy. Like they have 6 capable offensive linemen. They're just it's a team that makes you nervous because they can certainly be a house of cards, right? They're 1 injury away, and I'm not talking about to Aaron Rodgers, but to any of their central figures on the offense, not named Aaron Rodgers, and it could look a whole lot different. I'm not here to tell you that Aaron Rodgers is washed or anything close to it, but Aaron Rodgers' last season in Green Bay was fine. It was far from spectacular. It was good. It wasn't great. And that's the question that I think the Jets have to figure out this year is like, is Aaron still capable? Does he have the wizardry to push them back over the top? They've got a ton of talent, and yet this team has so much expectation that you guys know if things start slow for the Jets, and by the way, they play the defending NFC champion in week 1 of Monday Night Football at their house. It could be a very, very interesting pressure cooker for the Jets because it's New York. Win, lose, or draw, they're going to be on you. And if they don't come out of the gates red hot, we could see some serious, serious narratives developing early.
Hassan Reddick, leverage play. He wants the Jets to get smoked.
Yeah, he does.
Ooh.
I mean, listen, like a big part of I am on team, it's a bigger loss than people are making it out to be. I think I hear a lot of our sort of coworkers say like, well, he was never on the team. But so much of how they like to run Hassan Reddick, right? Like he's joining this team. How can he be a significant loss when he's never been on it? But so much of what they like to do defensively is predicated on them having a great pass rush. And they lost their guy, right? Like Bryce Huff is gone. I just think it's a bigger deal than we're making it out to be, but I also think that's a very measured approach about Aaron Rodgers. It's okay, you guys, to say, we don't know. We don't know how a 40-year-old coming off an Achilles tear is going to respond. True. We don't know. And that is okay. The dude's been hurt a lot. It's not just the Achilles tear. Even his last season with the Packers, he was hurt, which is why he said it was such an average year. So I think it's okay to go, we don't really know. We don't know because so many people are just giving him the benefit of the doubt, but we don't have any test cases for 40-year-olds coming back from Achilles tears and being fantastic. But certainly we'll see. I've got one more for you. The worst fantasy football punishment that you've ever heard of is...
Ooh, I mean, I've definitely heard of people like having to serve as human targets for paintball guns. That sounds painful. Like I wouldn't do it. I thought this was a good
forward,
one.
naked.
Yeah, this was a good one in a league that I'm in. 11 buddies of mine. So there's 12 of us in total. So the loser had to run 8.5 miles to a bar. The rest of us were at the bar with his credit card. And once he started and until he got to the bar, the credit card was ours for the taking. No food, just drink only. But I mean, 11 people like in what ended up being like just under an hour and a half. Like that was a pretty steep tab just for losing your fantasy football league. That's
I love that. That's so smart.
That's awesome. Hold on, Field. Just because I'm the pessimist, I'm the detractor. How do you guys ensure that he just doesn't hop an Uber?
We had the iPhone, like
find
my location tracking. Thank you. Yes, we were following him very meticulously. And I got to tell you what, if he did somehow like hoodwink us and like gave his phone to somebody else or like put it on a bike and just like slowly pedaled, he did an incredible job of making his body when he arrived to the bar look like he had just run 8.5 miles. Like the sweat, like everything about, he looked like a little bit disheveled, like looked like
that's incredible.
Over. Like I was impressed because I don't know that I could have run 8.5 miles. I haven't done that in a long time. But I also was like, dude, like we need to get you some, like we need like 7 waters for you right now.
Yeah.
Is that tell us that was Bahama Trauma. Is that the same group?
Of course, yeah, duh. It was the guy who put Field Hospital bill. Zach was the one. He was the guilty party in that one.